Skeletor to King Randor. Skeletor to King Randor. Come in, you royal boo.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull, by the power of Grayskull, by the power of Grayskull, by the power of Grayskull.
I have you now, you muscle-bound oaf.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every f***ing game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3! Win!
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Monday Night Uncensored. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP, from the 313. And normally, I would say, and by my side is my main man, my 2K and Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. But Mr. Mikey's dealing with back pain. He is down and out. He is not going to be joining me tonight. And yeah, Tommy is solo. That's okay. That's okay. You guys are what steers this ship. So I'm going to be all right. I'm here. Now, I did start this podcast early. Normally, we go live at 10, but I got called into work tonight for a half a shift, basically. So I got to work from midnight to 6 a.m. So normally I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday through Thursday, but work did call, and I got to go in tonight at midnight. So started this podcast a little bit earlier so I could chop it up with you guys and be on here a good amount of time where I'm not feeling rushed. Let's get to some of your chat real quick. Go Bill, says Pez. Yes, go Bill is absolutely. Oh, brother, this guy stinks, says Weston. I know you ain't talking about me, man. Where's our guys? We're here on time, man. 9 o'clock, man. Come on now. I say I'm going to be somewhere. I'm there, damn it. Brian Webster, they should trade Josh Palmer during the season and go get George Pickens from the Cowboys. Yeah, so I saw that floating around today about the George Pickens. And so the thing is, it takes two to tango, right? Is Dallas looking to move on from George Pickens? Like, it's a lot easier to say what the Bills should go do and the Bills should go get, George Pickens. The Bills should go get, Justin Jefferson. But it takes two to tango. We don't know if Dallas wants to give up George Pickens. They picked up his option for a reason. Now, could they trade him? Sure. I'm not saying it's impossible or anything like that. And I'll say this, Brian, to your point. I'm always down to add more talent to this team. Like, give me that talent. Absolutely. I look, I am not a believer in Josh Palmer. No offense to Josh Palmer if you're listening. I'm not discrediting your football skills. You obviously are in the NFL for a reason, but it hasn't worked out. It didn't work out year one. In Buffalo, I just don't see the connection there between you and Josh either when you were healthy. And we're trying to win a Super Bowl here, right? So we need people available. And that's the other thing too. You're just not available, right? Josh Palmer is constantly hurt, it seems like, right? Since the day we signed him, it's been an issue. So, and now, by the way, he's still hurt. Like, did he get hurt again in the offseason while he's rehabbing whatever injury he had going into the offseason? So I'm so confused on the whole Palmer situation. It's turning out to be a Curtis Samuel situation all over again. It's like, we didn't learn from the Curtis Samuel situation. And once again, look, I'll say this. You can't, no team can predict injuries when you sign a player or draft a player, unless they have injuries in the past where you go, man, that's all he guys had injuries throughout his career. Then that's on you, right? But, as far as I know, Palmer was relatively healthy throughout his time with the Chargers. So, I'm not going to blame Bean for that. Same with Curtis Samuel. Like, he wasn't like a guy that, had a lot of injuries going into Buffalo or signing with Buffalo. So I'm not going to kill Bean for that. But I will say this, like, you took too long to move on from Curtis Samuel. And I get that, the whole eating dead cap and that kind of sucks and all that stuff. But you gotta listen, sometimes you gotta take your L's, right? And you're gonna eat some dead cap because of that, right? And that's the name of the game. That's the bad part of having a bad signing, right? Or free agent signing, or even a draft pick. I need guys that can produce on this team, right? So here's the deal with Palmer. If you cut him, you do save $2.5 million. Because I don't think any team's going to want to trade for him, right? He's not even available in camp already, and OTAs or mini camp, right? So no team's going to take a flyer on a guy that hasn't produced for us, can't get on the field. So at this point for me, I'd cut him, get your 2.5. You're going to have to eat the dead cap next year and the following. It is what it is, right? I think it's just 1 year you have to eat the dead cap. But either way, you're going to have to eat something, right? And we know this. But who cares? Nobody's going to care unless you that's if you pick up a player like let's say the Cowboys do want to get rid of Pickens and you go ahead and pick up a player like that that contribute. Nobody would care about the dead cap hit. Nobody give a shit about that. But I'll tell you what people will give a shit about is if you keep Joshua Palmer on this team and he's a no-show, or he gets hurt again, or he stays hurt, and he's just not productive at all because of all that, then people are going to go, what the fuck? So if there's one thing I would say about Bean, and you guys know I support Brandon Bean. I think he's done a borderline great job here. He's close. He's good to great. He's teetering on that, right? And I know a lot of people would disagree with my point of view on what Brandon Bean's done here, but that I'm not going to continue to go over that. But the one of the few knocks about Bean that I have is I wish he was more aggressive and understanding what's going on in the now. And the now is you have a Super Bowl window. It's open. It absolutely is open. And anyone that tells you that it's not doesn't know football. It doesn't know this team. The window's still open. It absolutely is. Trust me when I tell you, even outside of Bills fans, national sports media, which I'm not saying listen to them because I really don't, but many of them, I hear that they have the Bills, as one of the teams going to Super Bowl. Las Vegas, right? Odds have the Bills as second best team to win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's there for a reason because Buffalo's a good team. Like you can't tell me that there's not a team, any team in the NFL that the Bills are just going to get dog walk against. They're going to compete against every team. right? I'm not saying they'll win against all these teams. I'm just saying that the Buffalo Bills are a damn good team. So Brandon Beane needs to understand this, right? And you only got this window open so long, especially with Josh Allen in his prime. And really, that's all that's this window's about. If we're going to be real, right? There is no answer for when Josh Allen retires. Not as of now, right? Maybe they'll figure that out down the road. But it's a little bit too early to, start talking about who's replacing Josh Allen, right? But with that being said, I wish Brandon Beane would be a little bit more aggressive. And I got to be honest with you, fuck them draft picks. If Dallas were to want to trade George Pickens and they want a first round pick and let's say a first and a fourth or a first and a fifth, listen, we're picking late in the first round anyway. So you telling me you're going to get a better receiver than George Pickens at the 29th pick, 30th pick, 31st pick in the NFL draft? I don't think so. Now, I know he comes with a little baggage, but listen, this isn't the McDermott era anymore. We got a different coach here now, more of a player's coach. I think that could work out. And now you have yourself one hell of a receiving core, right? And if it doesn't happen, I'm still fine with what we got now. I still think we have a really good receiving core, and I think it's one of the players is highly underrated, and that's Khalil Shakir, and we'll get into that later. Let me get to more of your comments because I'm probably behind. Do you think we should? Do you think we guys should do for? I don't know what you mean there. Rephrase that, buddy. Leave all the cameras. Watch the Buffalo Bills. Go get more players and retraction, more contract stuff. Listen, the Bills, they got to do what they. Brandon Beane needs to be more aggressive. That's the one. Like I said, it's the one knock, one of very few that I have, and I wish that he would understand that we're in the now. Like you got to start thinking about the now. Like I understand his vision is for the future, like the the future of this team, and it's not just about going all in 1 year and then the team fucking is way off the cap and you got to get rid of players and you got to start over. Like if you do it right, you don't necessarily have to go that route. You know what I mean? Like the one thing, Beane is good with money. He knows how to move contracts and restructure and make it work. He also is very aware that the salary cap goes up every year. Like the NFL is growing every season with new streaming contracts, TV deals, you name it. So the likelihood of this cap going down or staying put the following season is rare. It's probably not going to happen. So I'm sure he's well aware of that. And he's also well aware of what contracts he has in place on who he can get rid of after a certain amount of time where he can get some of his money back or not have to pay the full length of the contract. So there's a lot more to it than probably we know that goes into it. But I'll trust in the guy that handles that, and that's Brandon Beane. But I do want him to be more aggressive. Tommy, someone should trade their Bugatti for my Chevy. I know, right? That would be a great deal, Matt Chatter. Takes two to tango, right? I'm sure we get some players or something. The Chiefs or go get some more players from all teams. We should go out and get some free agents. I think what's going to wind up happening is because we're around this time now where this is the quiet time. I don't think any team's really going to be doing any free agent signings. The bigger players that are out there are still, I mean, you got to remember, like Hill's still floating out there. Stephon Diggs is still floating out there. There's a couple players that are, I would say still in their prime that could produce, but for whatever reason, they're still available. I think what's happening is teams are going to wait, during the process of the 53. And there's going to be some surprise cuts. And this is where teams wind up waiting to see who gets cut and do pickups and stuff like that. And I think that's when you'll start seeing some moves made by the Buffalo Bills because there's always a surprise cut or two around the league. So let's see what happens there. But I don't think anything's going to be done until then. unless there is some kind of, talks right now, trade talks that I'm unaware of. Right. But I don't see anything happening until, teams have to start doing their cut downs. And, that's when you'll start seeing, some names out there floating around that maybe Brandon Beane will be interested in. And then we'll probably, and listen, we might make some surprise cuts. So we'll find out. But right now, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think this is the quiet part. This is why there's just not a lot of talk about podcast wise, but I always find something. I always get something going for you guys. And I got some cool stuff tonight, man, that I came up with a couple hours ago, like 3 hours ago. Go Bills, damn right. How you doing, Chris? Let's go Falcons. Wow, I got a Falcons fan. Oh, it's Hucklebuck. I know this guy. How you doing, Hucklebuck, man? I heard things are starting to pick up for you, man. I'm happy for you, brother. Can we get the Stephon Diggs Buffalo Bills? Go get him. Bring Brandon Cooks and AJ Brown and Matt Miller. What's the ball? All right. First of all, AJ Brown is already traded to he's with New England now, so that's done. Brandon Cooks is still available. I think I don't think he's coming back. I unless an injury happens during camp, or they do wind up releasing Palmer, and Diggs is already signed by then. There's really nobody else out there that is intriguing. Maybe they sign Brandon Cooks back on a cheap deal because it would be. He said he wants to come back to Buffalo, so I want to hate it, but at the same time, I feel like there's better options, you know what I mean, out there than Brandon Cooks. But I'll take Cooks over Palmer, to be honest with you. As far as Stephon Diggs, I would love it. I'm not going to lie. I think he would be a great addition to this receiving room. I still think he's, in his prime, but he's kind of at the tail end, but he still has it. Got 1,000 yards last year. But I don't think he wants to come back to Buffalo. I think that's more on, he doesn't want to come back to Buffalo. And I don't know if Buffalo wants him back either. But if he did come back, that would tell you a lot about really McDermott and his relationship, because, it would just tell you a lot. As far as Matt Milano, he's not signed either. I wouldn't hate it, because I thought he had a good year last year. But once again, a guy that's not super reliable when it comes to, health-wise. But as a depth guy, I would welcome him. If he came in on a vet deal, nobody's picking him up, because I've heard nothing about him. Von Miller's interesting. Now, Von Miller, he has said he would definitely want to come back to play for the Buffalo Bills. I think he would also come on a decent deal, like a team-friendly deal. And I think he would actually be perfect for a depth. I think he had 8.5 sacks last year. So he had more sacks than anyone on our team last year. And just to have that guy in there, in that locker room with a lot of younger players to help out, you're getting that as well, right? So like almost like an extra coach at that position. So I wouldn't hate it at all. But is it going to happen? Probably not. But time will tell. I still think they will bring in some pieces in camp, right towards the tail end when they're starting to do some cuts and players. There's going to be an injury or two, right? It happens every camp. Every team deals with it. So be prepared for that. I'll be honest with you. I would take DeAndre Hopkins. I'd take D-Hop over Palmer. You know why? Because at least D-Hop, for the most part, is healthy. At least I know if the ball's going his way and it hits his hands, he ain't dropping it. That dude is about as sure-handed as anybody in the league. So at least I know what I'm getting out of D-Hop. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what I'm getting out of Palmer, because the things he showed me is nothing. And he can't even stay healthy. So, D-Hop would probably be like a $2 million 1-year deal there's your 2.5 you save right there. Go out and get D-Hop. You know what I mean? If you can't get a Diggs or you can't, swing a trade for George Pickens, which once again, I don't know where that came from. I have heard nothing about Dallas wanting to move on from Pickens. I think that's just once again, it's off-season talk. There's just not a lot to talk about right now. So there's a lot of people or a lot of, these websites throwing things out there like that, right? And it's the Justin Jefferson could be traded to the Bills. No, the likelihood is slim to none. Not saying it can't happen, but very slim chance that it does, right? When are you guys doing fantasy football? I'm going to set up a league. If you guys don't know, I set up a Discord channel. So if you guys want, join that Discord channel. I'll update the link tomorrow in my look for the posting on my YouTube channel. I'll update the link for you guys to join. It's free. And as far as the fantasy goes, I'm going to set it up through CBS because that's what I'm familiar with. And I think it's available soon for me to set that up. So as soon as I do, I'll get you guys informed. And then anyone who wants to join, let me know on the Discord, okay? Free. Obviously, it's free. No betting. I'm not doing any betting, anything stupid like that. Sign Hopkins. I would. Why not? It's a cheap deal. Get rid of Palmer, man. Like, what? Palmer's doing nothing for you. You're wasting all your time rehabbing this guy for what? Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. Let that dude go, cut that dude, let that dude get rehab somewhere else. And maybe he, somebody picks him up, takes a flyer on him, which he probably will. But I've seen enough for me to want the Bills to move on from him. He does nothing for that receiving room. I have not seen anything from him that goes, man, you know what? Yeah, if he's healthy, he can, man, watch out. Like, no, I can't say that. Even with the Chargers, even when he played for the Chargers, when we signed him and I looked at his highlights, because I didn't really know much about him, nothing really impressed me. No. Once again, if Palmer's watching this, no offense. You're in the NFL for a reason. Like, salute to you. But I wasn't, nothing there stood out on tape or on film. I was like, thank God the Bills signed Josh Palmer. You know what I mean? So, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that dude gets healthy and that dude has a hell of a year for the Buffalo Bills and I eat crow and I have no problem eating crow. If that's the case, man, I've been talking without my background music and normally I don't do that. Let me put my background music on because like dead air. There we go. Okay. Much better. What do you guys like mine? How do you make live videos? Oh yeah. I talked to you about this, buddy. I'm gonna look. I try to help you. I explain to you what to do. Hit me up again through after this live's over. Like comment, and I'll explain again. But look, man. I'm always, I always try to help people out, especially in this Buffalo Bills podcast space. But it's kind of, once I give you what I can give you, you're going to have to kind of, take your bumps and bruises, right? And kind of just, learn how it goes, man. Just like I did. And now, once again, I asked for help too, just like you're asking me. But at the end of the day, I still had to go live. I still had to learn some stuff on my own. So I can kind of show you the path, but you're going to have to do it. And you're going to have to kind of go through those hurdles. You know what I'm saying? And once you go through those hurdles, man, you're good to go. You know what I mean? All right. No Mikey tonight. Mikey has a back injury. We're going to have to start calling Mikey Kincaid. He's this off season has been rough for Mikey. There's like so much going on. Mikey Kincaid, right? I don't know what kind of strength and conditioning coaches he has over there in California, but the window is always open until Allen retires. No, that's true. Well, right. But if we're going to be honest here, right, Chris, like Josh Allen's 30 years old, right? He's in the prime of his career, no doubt about it. However, the way he plays He probably is not going to last till he's 40 with that style of play, right? Now, I don't know. Maybe he does, but the chances are kind of slim because of his play style. Tom Brady, he lasted as long as he did because that wasn't his style of play, right? He was well protected. He knew how to move in the pocket, where he wasn't really taking a lot of hits. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen, it's just not his style, right? And he'll never play that style. So, realistically, Josh Allen's probably, I would say 34, 35, so let's say 4 to 5 years where he's in his prime. And time flies, guys. It really does. I mean, think about it. McDermott was our head coach for 9 seasons. It doesn't seem like it, but it's the reality, right? Josh Allen's been in the league 8 years going on 9. Once again, he's been in the league 8 years going on 9. That's crazy. It just seems like yesterday we drafted the guy, right? So time flies. Before you know it, he's 34, right? And we're going, uh-oh, right? So do we bring back phone? I don't know what that means. Could we bring back some? No, absolutely not. No, Josh has already paid. Pickens available. I've heard nothing about. I mean, like, I've seen articles about how the Bills should trade for George Pickens, but I've also heard that about Justin Jefferson, right? So I don't think so. I've heard nothing about Pickens or about the Cowboys wanting to move on from Pickens. So I now, once again, could it happen? Could it happen? Sure. Like, could somebody call Dallas and be like, hey, we'll give you a first and a third or first and a fourth? And Dallas is like, you know what? We're probably not going to pay him after this year, right? Maybe we don't have enough, or maybe a first round pick is, intriguing, right? Maybe we'll get our receiver there on a rookie deal, and we already have a really great receiver here in CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they could. It's possible, but I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing about that. Tommy, do the Cowboys want a wide receiver that's mid as? No, they don't. I don't have the link, buddy. You got to look that stuff up, Brian. You come on, brother. Look, Google. Listen, Google is your best friend. And I'm going to be honest with you. I told you this before, Brian, too. I'll help you as best I can. I'll give you some advice as best I can. But YouTube is also a great outlet for finding things out, like how to start a YouTube channel and how StreamYard works and what's the best service for, if let's say you can't afford StreamYard and you just want to start out with the free service. Just go on YouTube and search all that stuff. Most of the time, there's going to be some tutorial, some breakdown on how you can start your own YouTube channel and get it going. You know what I mean? So I'll help you as best I can, brother, but I can't do it here while I'm live. You know what I'm saying? So, but I did give you as best answers I could a couple weeks ago, I think, when you asked me. So that's the best I could tell you, brother. I'm sorry. I asked Aramis about y'all having. Yeah, I know. I was there. I was live when you asked me. You gave a super chat asking. And by the way, thanks for that, because those are my buddies over there. So I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, the bet is real simple, right? You guys know, if you watch Post Podium Podcast, they are very much against Brandon Beane. They do not believe he's a good GM. They do not believe he'll get the job done in Buffalo, and the job done meaning a Super Bowl. And I big time disagree with their feelings about Brandon Beane and the job he's done here and the job that he will continue to do here. So, me and him had a debate on the phone kind of for a little while, and just like him, I'm stuck on something where, I believe in something. I'm not going to back away from it, right? I'm not going to change my mind. And Aramis is the same way. So we kind of came to a crossroad there, and right, there's really nowhere to go but to make a bet. And I told him, listen, if the Bills win a Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons, which I believe they will, you're going to have to come on the show and admit that you were wrong about Brandon Beane, and that the issue was really all along McDermott, or he played a big part of the reason why the Bills did not win a Super Bowl in that 9-year run. Because if the Bills go ahead and win a Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons, there's no doubt about it on what caused the Buffalo Bills not winning a Super Bowl, or at least going to one in the McDermott era. I mean, so he said he agreed to that. And if we don't get the job done in the next 2 seasons, then I'll go on his channel and I'll say, hey, it's time to move on. We need to get somebody in here that has different vision and different ideas of how this team needs to be run and how this team and what is needed to get this team to a Super Bowl. So that's the bet. It's a real simple bet. Falcons are ass. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. I haven't set it up, Brian. When I do, I'll let you know, brother. I promise you. I could see Josh playing until he's 37, 38. But the time he's 35, playing style will definitely change. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Unless he's a beast like a Superman until his final days. Yeah, listen, knock on wood, we've gotten very lucky that Josh Allen hasn't really had a major injury, right? They all have them. I mean, listen, Patrick Mahomes last year, right? ACL, non-contact injury. Once again, knock on wood, but eventually in time, these quarterbacks, they do get some type of injury like that. So we got to also factor in that. Now, could that not happen? Sure, but you got to also understand this is a brutal sport, and it takes a toll on your body. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, Brandon Beane needs to understand all this as well, that the window's open, but it's not going to forever be open. Not, at least not with Josh Allen. Now, if you could find his replacement, in 4 or 5 years from now, or a backup, or draft a quarterback that we all feel like, damn, okay, this dude's he could be the next dude, right? Then maybe we start feeling a little bit more comfortable. But even then, I don't know. The salary cap isn't the issue for the Bills. If it's Beane signing bust, Bernard, Bass, Palmer, Samuel. Okay, so first of all, I kind of agree with you and kind of disagree with you. So if you're talking about the re-signing of players, right? So we'll begin there. Terrell Bernard. Terrell Bernard's a really good player. Okay, he deserved the contract at the time. I wasn't complaining about at the time. I don't think many Bills fans were complaining at the time. I thought it was deserved, actually. Bernard was, he was doing his job. However, unfortunately, injuries crept in, right? And it's kind of one of those things. I cannot blame a GM for stuff that you don't see coming. Like, injuries are what it is what it is. So I'm not going to kill him on that. Like, Bernard wasn't a bad player that he just decided I'm going to give a contract to, like, or take a flyer on. Like, the dude earned it up until that point. So I'm not going to kill him on Terrell Bernard. And by the way, he's still on the team. So it's not like Terrell Bernard is off the team now and we're paying him. You know what I mean? So that I'll disagree with. Tyler Bass has taken pay cuts, dude. At the time when we signed him, he was coming off one of his best seasons. So once again, it's one of those things, man. Like, I'm not going to kill him on the Bass one either. It wasn't like Bass was mid at that point. Bass was a draftee who was having a good season. It happens. And it wasn't an outrageous contract either. So once again, I'm not going to kill him. Josh Palmer, yeah, absolutely bad contract. He didn't do anything. He didn't really do anything in LA or with the Chargers. I don't understand it. Why do you keep signing these guys when, especially a lot of free agent signings that he's doing, these 1-year deals, 2-year deals? Like, I'd rather him just take that money and stop instead of 3 players, let's say average to good, go out and get a great player, right? Go out and get one of the top, wide receivers that are in free agency, right? Like instead of trying to be like get a boatload of players all on 1 to 2 year deals where it all still adds up to a lot of money that's wasted. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Curtis Samuel, same thing, like bad contract. And you would have thought he would have learned his lesson on the Curtis Samuel with the Josh Palmer. Von Miller, I'm not going to kill him on either. Von Miller was having he was going to have 10 plus sacks that year. He was on pace to have easily 10 sacks, 11, maybe 12. But ACL happened. I mean, that's once again, you can't predict that. I mean, do you think the Packers thought that, Micah Parsons was going to tear his ACL when they traded for him last season? Of course not. Right? It's very easy to go, how could you trade away all these players and the guy gets hurt? Like, we don't know. GMs don't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not going to kill him on that either. Like, once again, the things that I wish he would do better at is, one, being a little bit more aggressive in trades, when it comes to trades, when it comes to drafting. If you need to draft up, man, for a player that's going to make a big difference and you're going to lose some draft capital because of that, do it. And I feel like he's hesitant on that a lot. He doesn't like to get rid of his draft picks. And in free agency too. Like, that's my other thing. I just wish he would have, stop with the signing. We don't need 9 to 10 players. If you could pick players up in the draft, you could pick players up in UDFA. We don't need these guys. Like Joey Bosa. That's another bad signing, by the way. You didn't mention him. Joey Bosa was a bad signing, and I knew it at the time. 1 year, $12 million. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a waste of money. Joey Bosa did nothing over the last 4 years that told me, man, this guy's going to come in and wreak havoc. And Mikey thought differently. Mikey thought that this guy was going to be used as a playoff player, right? A guy that we were going to limit his, snap count and unleash him during the playoffs, and that didn't happen. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. And you saw Joey Bosa's numbers decline about halfway through through the season, and which was typical of what he's done over the last 4 years. So, and I'm not saying he played terrible for us, but was it worth it? Right? It was $12 million. It did nothing. It did nothing in the playoffs, right? It did like nothing. So at the end of the day, it was a bad signing. It was money wasted. You know what I mean? Like, so now this offseason, I got to say, now, of course, we haven't played yet, right? They haven't played football yet. I will say I do like the signings this year compared to probably the last 3 seasons, maybe more, from Brandon Beane in free agency. I thought he didn't overpay, to be honest with you. I thought all the contracts were about right. The length of the deals were about right. And the type of players that he brought in are guys that are going to fit into the new vision and scheme of Brady and Leonard. So, that's where I'm going with that. But our linebacker corp is razor thin. Yeah, but they can, once again, let's wait and see how this works out, because we don't know what players are going to be picked up in free agency still. When camp hits, we don't know what players are going to be cut from other teams. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't overstress the roster as we sit today. But I like our roster, but I understand what you're saying about the linebacker corp. But we also picked up a guy in the draft, in Elarms Orr, who, once again, when I told you guys, when the dust settled and I came on here and did a video after the draft, a few days after the draft, and I told you, man, I sure as hell wasn't really thrilled during the draft, but once I really got to watch the film on these players, understand what Jim Leonard is trying to do with this defense and what he's done what he did with the Broncos and in college, it all made sense. And then these players, go look at them. Go look at their film. Man, these guys are just, you know, they all have speed. They all can tackle. You know, they're aggressive, right? They can cover east to west, north to south. Like, these are all what Leonard wants in his system. Guys that can pretty much cover the whole field, right? Linebackers that can move all over the field. Edges that can run, right? They can cover both sides, right? Safeties that can come in the box. Like, this is what his vision is. And Elarms Orr plays like with his hair on fire. The dude is fast. He can hit. He's aggressive. That's a guy to watch out for. IGB, another guy that I was like, during the draft. But once I saw his film, I said, damn, this guy, we may have something here. Like, this is exact. And to be honest with you, that's the type of corner I like. Tall, you know, is not afraid to tackle, you know, aggressive, you know, press man. He's going to have, you know, some penalties here and there because he's that type of corner, but I can live with that. You know, that's not the kind of corner that McDermott liked. So, you know, and then you got other guys, obviously, like TJ Parker, he's going to have a good snap count this year, and he's going to be probably the guy that takes over for Bradley Chubb once Chubb's deal's done. So, yeah, man, like, I'm really, you know, and then you got Kilgore, who's a safety who also is very promising. So I would say this draft here has gotten me very excited for the future, or for the now and the future. And we're not done yet. Like, this is Jim Leonard's, Joe Brady, Brandon Beane's first off-season together, right? You got to remember, a lot of these players that especially for Jim Leonard, there are a lot of the players that he's inheriting, right? You're going to see in time, if these guys don't pick it up, these guys aren't fitting into what Jim Leonard wants, they'll be gone. And you're going to see new guys come in, new free agents that fit what Leonard wants, right? And, you know, another draft where you're going to see Jim Leonard type of players, right? Joe Brady too. Joe Brady, how I feel for his side is the leash is gone. The leash is off, let's say, right? The handcuffs are off. He's able to finally do what he wants to do for the offense, right? And we'll find out. You know what I mean? But I'm excited. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, that's why I'm very thrilled or very excited about 2026. Tom, did you hear Aaron Donald might come on? I did, but I don't really care. Like, the dude's been out of the league for a couple years now. Listen, man, you got just put him in front of us and let's go at it. Let's do it, man. You know what I mean? I'm not getting tied up in who has who anymore and who's great on paper anymore. Look, I get it. The Rams look dangerous. They are. They're going to be, right? You got Matthew Stafford, he's an aging quarterback, but he's still clearly still has it. You got really good receivers. You got a hell of a defense. Like, I get it. On paper, sounds great. But, you know, I've seen this before. And teams, you know, fail to get the job done. So you got to go out there and play the game still, right? So one thing I know about the Buffalo Bills is we always go out there and we give it our all, and we're always in games. Like, no team is just dog walking us. You know, I don't think the Bills, like, I'm not going into any game going, man, there's no way the Bills have a chance. And I mean, if you're a real Bills fan, you understand you've been watching this team for the past, you know, I would say at least 7 seasons. You can't really say that you've been going into a game, you're like, oh man, we have no shot. Like, you got Josh Allen and quarterback, right? You know, we got James Cook, one of the best running backs in the NFL. You got a good offensive line. We're going to put up points. We're going to compete. The problem has always been the defense, right? That was the one thing I always said, like, yeah, we're going to give up points today, right? Can the offense, you know, can our offense put up points, right? That was always and for me, the answer was yes. It was always yes. I got a super chat coming in real quick. Jacob Spears with the super chat. You know what that means. Let's go ahead and and hit that Bills train horn. Give me 1 second.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Jacob Spears in the house. And then I know Jacob came in with another super chat. Stay strong, Tommy. My dude coming in with 2 super chats. Let me go ahead and hit that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jacob. I appreciate you, bro. By the way, if you don't know what he's talking about, I won't be here too long explaining, but kind of going through some stuff. I've been renting a house for 9 years, and out of the blue, pretty much out of the blue, the owner decided to sell the house. Good guy. I'm not blaming him or nothing like that. So, it is what it is, but gave me very little time to save, to move out, to find a place. Very tough with a big dog. As you guys know, I got Princess, and she's going to go where I go no matter what. If I have to live in my car, she'll live. I'm not getting rid of my my baby, right? So, first time in my life, I really, truly have asked for help. I did I still have it up, a GoFundMe. If you guys are interested in helping, if not, it's okay. Just have your thoughts and prayers with me, please, in this process. I'm going to go ahead and put up the QR code. That QR code on the top right will take you to the GoFundMe. You don't need to. You don't have to. If you could share it, that'd be great too, or tell people about it. I appreciate it. That's pretty much going towards, moving expenses and down payment of a rental and all that stuff. So if you guys don't, I'm sure you guys all have had some similar situations in life. But yeah, it's the first time I ever had to really find a way to pick myself up off the ground. I kind of need help this time, man. So, let's see here. Donald's isn't coming back. The speed of the game waits for no man. Yeah, and if he does, he's going to be so rusty, man. I'm not saying he can't, but I'm not thinking about that, not worrying about that. It truly, it doesn't affect me either way. You know what I mean? Another super chat coming in real quick from Jacob. Another one, man. Jacob, you are the man tonight, man. Let me go ahead and hit that with that. Jacob's a man. I appreciate you, Jacob, man. Let's go ahead and put that music back on there. All right, very good. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've been so bored. No NHL, no NFL. Yeah, or NFL. Yeah, I don't watch hockey. I know. I see that you do. You got the Maple Leafs. Or I'm sorry. Did I say Maple Leafs? Is that the Maple Leafs? I think it is the Toronto Maple Leafs logo. Yeah, I don't watch hockey, but baseball. I used to love baseball, but I don't know, something about it. Like it's tough to watch 162 games. I watch towards the tail end of the season. If my team's any good or in the playoff hunt, which is the Detroit Tigers, by the way, which we're not doing too well this year, then I'll kind of start really paying attention, tuning in. The Pistons, I started getting back into basketball this past year because they're finally, they seem to be finally understanding what it takes to win again. We'll see what they do this offseason. They do need help. Hopefully they go out and get it, which means another player next to Cade Cunningham that can score. But yeah, my passion is football. NFL, Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Miami Hurricanes are my other team for college football. I love the Hurricanes, man. Diehard U fan. So, that's kind of my passion. That's where it lies. But yeah, you're right though. Like this part right here of the off season is tough, right? We're on a stretch here. We're going to have to wait until I believe I actually have it listed. Let me pull that up here, guys, tonight. Hold on. Because I do have right here. So in case you guys want to know. So here is the training camp report dates and locations for all 32 teams. If you guys are interested in all 32, I guess I'll go through them. The Cardinals, the rookies start July 22nd. The vets start July 22nd. So they're having both rookies and vets show up July 22nd. Falcons, rookies check in July 24th. Vets July 28th. Normally that's how it is. I'm surprised the Cardinals have both rookies and vets showing up at the same time. But the Ravens July 24th and vets, the rookies on the 24th, vets on 28th. The Buffalo Bills, the rookies show up at the 21st. The vets show up on the 28th. So let's just say camp begins July 21st. So about a month away. We're about a month away. The Panthers, rookies, July 21st, vets July 22nd. The Bears, the rookies, July 25th, and the vets 28th. I'm not going to go through everything, but you guys get the drift. So it's about late July, right? Let's just say July 21st is where it seems to be, kicking off as far as training camp goes. So, as far as the Bills, yeah, the rookies, they get in a little earlier. Good evening, Tommy. What's going on, Sandra? To the TOP. That's right. And everybody in the chat, hoping all fathers had a great Father's Day. There we go. That's right. Father's Day was yesterday. Happy Father's Day to everyone that's out there, man. So that was that. So tonight, I do got some stuff lined up for tonight that I thought was pretty interesting. I do have this thing at the end I thought was pretty cool because Sunday I was doing the Down and Drought series, and I was covering the 2014 Buffalo Bills. By the way, it's a 2-part series. I did part 1 on Sunday. This coming up Sunday is part 2. And in 2014 is when Ralph Wilson passed away and sold the team that year to Terry and Kim Bagula. But there was other people bidding before the Bagulas bought the team, and that was John Bon Jovi, and Donald Trump was also bidding. And these were all serious bidders, by the way. I think John Bon Jovi actually exited out first because the NFL has a rule where they allow multiple people to buy into a team, but one of the shares or whoever is the investor has to, I think, have a certain amount invested in order, you know what I mean? And so John Bon Jovi just didn't have the amount, and I think it was winded up being like $300 million. And he didn't have that kind of money, so he was out. And somebody was, and somebody said, "Man, I wonder if Donald Trump." I think somebody asked it, or maybe I said it. What if Donald Trump was the one that bought the Buffalo Bills? Now, he did say he wanted to keep it in Buffalo. He that he wasn't going to move it out of Buffalo. The problem with John Bon Jovi was many fans thought he was going to move the team to Canada. But Donald Trump, he said he had no plans on moving the Buffalo Bills. So I asked ChatGPT, what if Donald Trump bought the Buffalo Bills back in 2014? Would things have been different? Like, you gotta wonder. Like, you really do. Like, and by the way, I love that Terry and Kim Bagula bought the team, obviously, right? They're from Buffalo and they've done great things here, but very curious, what if Trump did buy the team? Like, does Trump, build a stadium and on his own, right? That's a good question, right? Or does he make taxpayers pay the majority of, or half of it, right? Whatever that wound up being. Does he get a stadium deal? Does he get a stadium going earlier, right? When he, is that the first thing he winds up doing? Does he hire a coach right away that's a big time coach? Because you guys know, like, the one thing Trump does, he's very aggressive, right? Right? And just it's his nature, right? Like, he doesn't really want to take the L, right? So I wonder if, one, about the stadium, two, does he hire a different coach? Is Sean McDermott ever hired here, right? Or does he go out and try to get the best available and spend the most that he can on a top coach at the time, right? It's just a good question, right? Do we draft Josh Allen still? Because if no McDermott, maybe there's no Bean. Maybe there's no Josh Allen, right? You got to ask yourself that. So, how does free agency work? Does he hire a GM that's aggressive and just spends money? You know what I mean? Like, it's all interesting. It really, truly is. It truly is interesting. So, with that being said, I'm like, you know what would be pretty cool to do something on ChatGPT tonight of what ifs, right? And I did a thing. So the title tonight basically is, what if, the what ifs, right? Alternate universe, right? Like for the Buffalo Bills, right? So the alternate universe that changes everything, right? The what ifs. Now, if you guys have any what ifs for tonight, when we're about to do that segment, chime in, because we're going to do it quite a bit. And it is fascinating, right? What ifs, right? And you can think of anything, whatever you want to think about. What if we drafted, Lamar Jackson? What if we drafted Josh Rosen? What if we, whatever you want to think. What if Scott Norwood makes the field goal, right? I mean, like, whatever you want to come up with, I'll ask ChatGPT, and we'll see what ChatGPT has to say about it. But I thought that was pretty funny, and I think it's going to be pretty cool little segment tonight. I read the Bills are the only team to win more than 13 games in 2026 under new head coach Joe Brady. Mitch Morse said he believes it's Allen's time to bring a championship to Buffalo. It is, and I have faith in this team. I truly do, and that's why I have a lot of confidence going into 2026. And I know I guess I'm a homer now. I don't know. Is that being a homer because I have confidence in my football team? I would say no, because I've only done this once, which was in 2021, where I felt strongly about the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl chances going into a season. Now that, of course, after 2021, 2022, 23, 24, I still believed that there was a chance, but I wasn't also, really, expressing that my true, I really do believe, like, it was more optimism and, hey, you never know, we're still a good team, because we were, but I also had my doubts when it came to Sean McDermott, when it came to the Buffalo Bills defense, right? Like, doubts crept in, right? With this new team, with this new coaching staff, with this new vision and scheme, and the players that we added, including DJ Moore, which, people kind of forget that we have a number one now. It makes me really, truly believe that this team has a legitimate shot at going to Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl in the next 2 seasons. And I'm counting this season as one of them. So, and if you want to call me a homer because of that, that's fine. That's fine. What if Flutie played over Johnson? Ooh, Edward. Okay. Remind me of that. I'll try to remember. But when we get to that segment, I will, unless it's already there. By the way, I have not looked at this list. I asked ChatGPT to give me a list, and then I asked them to do another one. I kind of scaled down. I didn't read any of them, right? I think I read the first one, but after that, I don't really want to know. I kind of want to just go over them with you guys. So I think there's 30 or 40 what ifs. So it might be there. If it's not there, remind me, and I'll put it in the. I'll put it down in ChatGPT. All right, so let's get to it. So we are an hour in. I got about another hour and 15 minutes before I gotta get up out of here and go to work. So we still got time. And if I have to skip some of the stuff I have and get to the what ifs, then we'll do that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the first. We're gonna go ahead and get into the first segment here of the show. Let me, if I can find it. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So we got, man, why is that like that? Okay, that's fine. All right, quick updates on 17 Buffalo Bills injuries after minicamp. All right, so here we go. Seems like there's always somebody injured when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Bass, kicker. Says it's unclear if Bass has fully recovered from his season-ending hip and groin injuries, which kept him off the field for the entire 2025 season. However, WGR 500, or let's say WGR Sal Capaccio reported Bass did not kick field goals in front of the media during OTAs or minicamp, prompting some cause for concern for the only kicker on the Bills roster. And here's another thing I'm going to say about Brandon Beane in this situation. It's not a smart move. You need to bring in a kicker, and you should bring in one before camp begins. Stop signing these funky players. Like, we just signed a running back, Ian Wheeler. Like, no offense to that guy, but like, do we need another running back right now? And at camp, like, you know, as far as I know, the running backs are fine. You know, for me, this is a little concerning. You don't want to be caught up in the same scenario that we were last year. Thank God we found Matt Prater, who was happened to be available, and Matt Prater delivered. But I don't, you know, I've heard nothing about Matt Prater returning or wanting to return to football, right? Matt Prater was actually going to retire the year that we picked him up last year. So kickers they're not going to cost you much. You know, for me, I don't care about Tyler Bass's feelings if you bring in another kicker to compete. You have to, because you have no idea what you're getting with Tyler Bass after these injuries or after this the surgery that he had. He was already shaky as it was before the injuries. Now he has pressure put on him on top of coming back from surgery. Like, it just doesn't sound promising, to be honest with you. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tyler Bass is, did some, kicking when the media wasn't there, and he was spot on, and leg looked good, and everything looked fine, and there's no worries within the Bills organization. But they kind of told us that last year, right? And then Tyler Bass goes out there in preseason, makes his first field goal. We're like, okay, and then his second field goal he misses. Remember? And then he's hurt, right? He goes on IR right after. Like 2 days after he's put on IR. You really want to go through that again? Last minute decision, finding a kicker. You remember when Matt Prater got hurt and we had to go try to find a kicker, and these kickers were terrible that we were bringing in, really bad, but you have to have a kicker. So that's another thing I don't understand, why you would fuck around and just put all your eggs in one basket for Tyler Bass. You know what I mean? Like enough already. And Tyler Bass, he seems like a good dude, pet person, does, charity for cats. But it's a business, man. You got to be out there. You got to produce. You got to make your field goals. I don't want to worry about my kicker, missing fucking easy chip shot, extra points, field goals, easy field, then getting hurt. So I hope it works out. And I hope if they don't pick up a kicker, man. But anyways, let's move on. Cole Bishop, safety. Bishop underwent an offseason medical procedure which prevented him from participating during the Bills' offseason workout program. Got some stuff cleaned up in the knee, said Bishop, per a video by Matt Perino. So just trying to get back from that. Bishop says he plans to return in time for training camp, but that remains to be seen. So I wouldn't worry about that, by the way. It's a very common thing for players to have their knee scope. Very common, right? And sometimes they don't even tell you that they had it done. That's how it's a very common procedure. They just go out, they just basically clean up the knee. So I'm not stressing that. That's not an injury. So it's actually not a bad thing. You know what I mean? So that I'm not going to really be concerned about. Dorian Williams, though, he's been hurt. I don't know what's going on with him. That kind of just sprung up on us. Williams was also sidelined for OT as a minicamp due to an apparent lower body injury that he appeared to sustain at some point during the offseason. Williams was lost for the game due to a neck injury he suffered on the 2025 divisional round defeat of the Broncos. However, the ailment he is currently dealing with appears to be unrelated. If Williams cannot return in time for camp, that would place rookie Elarms Orr in the driver's seat for starting role at inside linebacker. And look, that's why I try to tell you guys this too during or after the draft. Sorry, after the draft. None of these players, for the most part, that especially on the defensive side, really on the defensive side, that Jim Leonard inherited are like safe. Meaning, now there's some that we know are because they've produced at a pretty good level or high level. Those guys are kind of set there. I'm not too worried about anybody taking their job like a Groot or Ed Oliver. But guys like Dorian Williams, and I like Dorian Williams, but, has he produced at a high level where Elarms Orr can't come in and compete and actually take his job, not take his job, but compete for the job and win that job? Of course he can. Of course he can. I said that to you guys, I think the week after or the second week after the draft when I was really studying these players and understanding what Leonard wants to do. Same thing with IGB. I said that almost right away. And I got some backlash from that. I think Mikey was like, no way. And Dan Mitchell came on my show and I was trying to explain to him too about my feelings about IGB and, how I feel that he's more of a Leonard type of player, that I don't feel like Max Harrison has stamped his ticket as being CB2. I saw flashes from Maxwell Harrison last year, but I also saw a guy that got hurt twice, one in the offseason, one in the regular season. He missed a lot of game time. Once again, I saw some flashes of promising, flashes, but not enough where I'm like, oh, dude, he's locked in at CB2. This isn't a Christian Benford thing. You know what I mean? Benford is locked in at 1. He's earned that. He's shown me that, right? Nobody could take that away from him, right? Not right now. But what has Maxwell Harrison done to really prove that he's CB2? So that was my argument. That and the fact that, let's be real, once again, it's a player that Leonard inherited. It's not really his guy. His guys are the guys that came through free agency and the draft. And the fact that Dorian Williams is already hurt and not showing his ability to a brand new defensive coordinator, right? Who's, needs to make a decision at linebacker, it's not good. It's not good for Dorian Williams. It's really good for Elarms Orr, a guy that obviously Jim Leonard saw a true fit in his system. So once again, don't be shocked if some of these rookies are starters right away. Where I found it kind of interesting and funny that early on, a lot of Bills Mafia was like, oh, we're just drafting all these draft picks are a bunch of guys are depth guys. Oh, they're all depth guys. Are they? Are they? I don't know. I'll be honest with you guys. The majority of the draft all look like potential starters to me, either right away or down the road. They all look promising. There's a few maybe I'm like, maybe not. But the majority of the draft, these guys are exactly what Jim Leonard wants in a player. And as you guys know, we drafted very heavy on the defensive side of things. We're trying to make up for McDermott's defense and the kind of players that McDermott was bringing in here, or that he wanted on his style defense. So you're going to see this slow change through the years of guys that were inherited that are gone, especially if they can't fit in. So anyways, all right, next up. Michael Hoyt I can't wait for this. Now, this guy, and we're not talking about guys that are inherited, right? Guys that are inherited in Jim Leonard's defense. This guy is a Leonard type of player, right? He's your unicorn. That's exactly what Jim Leonard likes in a defensive player, especially on the line. Likes a guy that can move around, that he can place anywhere really on that defense. Can play linebacker, can play edge, can play on the line, right? Like the guy can play almost every position on that line. So this is a guy for sure that I'm sure Jim Leonard, wants him to be here and can't wait for him to be 100%. So, and early on, Hoyt looks ready to go. Like he looks ready to go for training camp. Brandon Beane came out and said, look, we got to slow him down a little bit. He's excited and he's probably pushing himself maybe too much, but it's looking good, right? Everybody's kind of like, damn, this dude is already ahead of schedule, right? I tell you, he's a freak athlete. Like this dude, and it's funny because I didn't know a lot about him prior to coming to the Bills, but once I saw the film on him with the Rams, and obviously the little time that he had on the field with the Bills, I'm like, yeah, this guy is legit. This guy is a guy that can do it all. I see why they were so intrigued in Hoyt and why they signed him. Hoyt displayed noticeable progress throughout the offseason, which he began sideline with athletic trainers. He proceeded to take a step forward at minicamp when he participated in individual drills alongside his fellow defensive linemen. Hoyt was lost for the year in 2025 due to an Achilles. He sustained on November 2nd, but it seems as if his goal of returning by training camp is well within reach. Josh Palmer. Just like, man, this guy, bro. Palmer's another player who ended the season on IR a season ago due to an ankle injury from which he never was able to recover from after feigning during a Week 6 matchup with the Falcons. The Bills wide receiver was still sidelined at the start of OTAs, but joined his teammates on the field during minicamp. Palmer is no show in to make the Bills roster this season after the team added DJ Moore and drafted Skylar Bell. I'm sorry, no show. I totally read that wrong. Palmer is a no shoe-in to make the Bills roster this season after the team added DJ Moore via trade and drafted Skylar Bell. By the way, Skylar Bell, I'm sure they're going to mention his injury, which I kind of see it here. Yeah, he's definitely not a shoe-in, okay? Skylar Bell, right? Now, I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Let me read this, and I'll explain my kind of a little concern I have with him. Bell burst out of the gates with a performance during OTAs that left an impression on many in attendance. However, he was forced to take a step back during minicamp when an apparent lower body injury forced him to the sideline. It doesn't appear, at least at this point, that Bell's injury is anything serious, but his status is worth monitoring once training camp kicks off. So here's the deal with when it comes to Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell he's dealing with a hamstring issue. I believe it's his left leg. From what I read, he's had the same issue throughout college. Same leg, hamstring. Soft tissue injuries they're difficult because you never know how long they can linger on for. That is the kind of a problem. That may be a problem. Hopefully not. And this is where, obviously, strength and conditioning coaches come in, right? It's where they come into play. They have their workout cut out right now, right? And we kept the same strength and conditioning coaches, which many of us, including myself, I don't know if that was a wise decision considering all of our injuries that we've had over the last 2-3 years. So, hopefully Skylar Bell could figure this out, why this problem is reoccurring, and be ready in time for training camp and obviously the regular season. So, because I think he's going to be a good player. Now, I think this is a guy that is going to slowly go up the depth chart, as the season goes on. But if he's hurt or he's unavailable, then it's going to definitely have a setback. He's going to have a setback, right? And we can't afford to have setbacks right now, right? So there's two guys right there that in Palmer and Skylar Bell right now are a little bit of a concern. Hopefully we get some good news about Skylar Bell. With Palmer, I have all but given up. I don't care. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle. After dealing with numerous injuries, including to his ankles, biceps, and knee during the regular season, yeah, he had bad luck last year, guys. Oliver attempted to make a comeback during the playoffs, but was sidelined again after playing just 16 defensive snaps during the Bills' divisional round defeat. He wasn't present at the start of the team's offseason workout program, but returned for minicamp and appears to be all systems go for training camp in a few weeks. That's good news. Dwayne Carter. Carter missed the entire 2025 season due to an Achilles injury, but will be ready to go when they go to St. John Fisher. He has also put on considerable weight this offseason, gaining about 20 to 25 pounds as he prepares to shift inside to help the team figure out its depth at nose tackle and new defensive coordinator Jim Leonard's 3-4 scheme. Here's another guy that also gained weight, in Landon Jackson. Landon Jackson was lost for the first year due to torn PCL and MCL sustained during Week 10 matchup with the Miami Dolphins. He appears to have fully recovered as he was on the field throughout the offseason program, joining Carter in bulking up as he prepares for a shift inside to a 4-eye technique. Tyrell Shavers, wide receivers. He's going to be a special teams player, guys. Shavers' season ended due to a torn ACL he suffered during the Bills' wildcard win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry, not Shavers. Why was I thinking of... I was thinking of a different receiver. I don't know where my head was at right there. I don't think he's going to be back. Let's see here what it says. Did not participate during the offseason. At this point, it's likely he begins the season on the PUP list, which more than likely because he suffered that in the wild card win. So late in the season, I don't expect him back. And I have no idea why I was thinking about Trent Sherfield. I told you guys, my brain is somewhere else sometimes. Spencer Brown, offensive lineman. Brown was present throughout the Bills' offseason workout program, but did not participate. Brown missed 3 games due to injury last season, and him being sidelined the past few months is likely to an effort to keep him healthy for an entire 2026 season. And I'm good with that. I am totally good with that. As you guys know, Brown has dealt with back pain. He had back surgery when we first got him. But since surgery, he's been pretty good, pretty healthy. I know he missed a couple games last year, but that's not overly concerning considering the position he plays. But yeah, there's no need to push him during, an OTAs or mini camp. Like, no reason for that. Let that happen during camp. And even then, I wouldn't really go, too much where he could potentially get hurt. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not overly concerned at all when it comes to Spencer Brown. Maxwell Harrison. Harrison began his rookie season on IR due to a knee injury and finished the 2025 season on the mend due to an ankle injury. However, he appeared to be in full health during the team's mandatory minicamp, where his competition with the 2026 second-round pick IGB began. Jordan Hancock, safety. Hancock underwent offseason shoulder surgery, but has since returned to the practice field. He donned a Ren non-contact jersey at the Bills' mandatory minicamp. It could remain in a similar situation entering training camp still. He should be ready to participate at some level come July 29th. Okay, so sounds promising for Hancock. And he, we'll see what happens with him. He did show flashes that he could be something good at that position, or that he can, be somebody that we can rely on. Terrell Bernard, linebacker. Bernard missed 4 games due to hamstring, ankle, and elbow injuries that occur throughout the year before undergoing offseason ankle surgery. However, he is back and ready to go as the Bills' incumbent starter at inside linebacker after participating in full during the offseason workout program. So, yeah, right now Bernard's a go, and hopefully he can stay healthy this year because he does produce. He does. Damar Hamlin, safety. I think this guy's he's gonna be practice squad, guys. Hamlin finished 2025 on IR due to calf injury, but after the Bills re-signed him in this offseason, he is healthy having participated in the Bills OTA and minicamp. So I don't think he makes the team. I think he's cut. I think they wind up bringing him back on the practice squad. Scott Blakely in the house. Start the damn season already. I know, right, man? I'm just fishing for things here. All right, so those are the updates on the injuries that we have after minicamp. Okay. This one I thought was interesting. So what time is it right now? We've been on hour 20. We're at 10:20. So I got about another hour to go. So we're still good on time. We're going to get to the what ifs. Scott, if you want to stick around for the what ifs portion of the show, it's going to be fun. And you can throw your own what ifs out there for me to ask Chat GPT. So let's get to the next one. This one's a pretty cool one. Saw this article. Ranking the best quarterback classes of the last 10 years. All right, here we go. Number 1, 2018. I think we can all agree 2018 over the last 10 years was the best quarterback draft class. Says headliners Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Other quarterbacks drafted: Rosen, Rudolph, Luda, White, Falk, Lee, Edeling, and McGraw. All those guys did nothing. But you got Mayfield, Darnold, Allen, Jackson. I mean, those are good. That's damn good. Quarterback regular season 285 and 202 with a tie. Super Bowl titles won, believe it or not, Sam Darnold. You also got 3 MVPs. You got 3 All-Pro selections, and you got 12 Pro Bowl selections for all those quarterbacks combined. Number 2 coming in 2020, it's Burrow year. Headliners: Joe Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love, Hurts. So outside of Tua, and Love is still a question mark for me, to be honest with you guys. Those are all really good picks. Quarterback record 223 and 159 and 1. Super Bowl titles 1, and that's Jalen Hurts. MVPs none. All Pro selections none. Pro Bowl selections 9. Still a pretty damn good year. Number 3 coming in 2024. Headliners: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. So you could take, I don't know why they have headliners, J.J. McCarthy. You could take him right off the list. Let's see who else. Is anybody and that's it. Yeah, so obviously Caleb Williams is trending in the right direction. Jaden Daniels, he had a rough season, but we'll see what happens year 3. He had a really great rookie year. Drake May seems like he's the real deal. We'll see what happens with him this year. He's going to have a lot of tougher competition. So we'll see what May can do. Michael Penix is another guy I think is a question mark. He has the skills, but I don't know yet about him. Quarterback record 82 and 75. No Super Bowl titles, no MVPs, no All-Pro selections, and 3 Pro Bowls. Coming number 4 is 2017. Headliners: Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Mitch Trubisky. Yeah, I mean, out of all those, obviously Mahomes is the one that worked out. Quarterback record 170 and 134. Super Bowl titles 3, obviously all going to Mahomes. MVPs 2, obviously all going to Mahomes. All Pro selections 2, that's probably all going to Mahomes, I would think. And Pro Bowl selections 10. Number 5, 2016. Headliners: Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Brissett, Dak Prescott. Trying to see, and the other ones worked out on the nope. So obviously Jared Goff has worked out, though. He got to a Super Bowl but did not win one. But he's worked out for the Lions since that trade as well. Carson Wentz is disappointing. He started off like his career really good, but with injuries and all that other stuff, and then bad attitude. He's now he's just a journeyman backup. Brissett saying he's always going to be a backup. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. I can't take anything away from him. He's had some bad luck with injury, but he's a good quarterback. Quarterback record 247 wins, 230 losses, 3 ties, 2 Super Bowl titles, and that would go to Wentz, right? Because Wentz was a backup, correct? And both those, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I think I'm right. No MVPs, no All Pros, and 10 Pro Bowls. Number 6, 2023. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Yikes. So Bryce Young is still a question mark. He's such a weird quarterback, man. Sometimes he looks like he's heading in the right direction. Other times he looks like he's just, he's shouldn't be in the league. CJ Stroud started off his rookie year looking like the real deal and has completely fell off the map. He is just terrible since his rookie year. He's regressed every year since then. Anthony Richardson had the tools, couldn't put it together, and is going to wind up being a draft bust. Quarterback record 64-90. Yikes. No Super Bowl titles, no MVPs, no All Pro selections, 1 Pro Bowl. And I'm guessing that's Stroud. I mean, it could be Young, but I think it's Stroud. Number 7, 2021. Headliners: Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Other quarterback drafted: Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Record 98-159-1. Yikes, terrible. No Super Bowls, no MVPs, no All Pros, 1 Pro Bowl selection. I'm guessing that's for Trevor. Really, the only one here that's doing anything is Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not crazy about Trevor Lawrence either. Number 8, 2025. Headliners: Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Shao Sanders. Record 17-38. It's still too early. I have faith in Cam Ward. I'm a Hurricane fan. I think the dude, he has all the tools to be a really good quarterback in the league. They just got to surround him with talent. It was only, so he's only played 1 year. So Dart looks promising. We'll see what happens there. Shao for the Saints looks promising. I don't like Shedeur Sanders. I really don't. I don't like his play. I don't see him being a good quarterback in this league. So, there's that. 2019, number 9, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew. I would think they would be a little bit better than some of these others that were up there. Kyler Murray is such a weird quarterback, guys. Another one that just he has shown the ability to be a really good quarterback, but then he has just shown the ability to be a bad one, like at times. Like I have no idea what to expect from Kyler Murray week in, week out. And that was the problem in Arizona. He just wasn't consistent. And I think they just didn't know what to do with him. And eventually they moved on. Daniel Jones, he had promise with New York, and he took, they paid him, and he just regressed. And then he went to the Colts, and he was looking like, oh man, watch out. And then he got hurt, and Gardner Minshew is a really good backup. So, number 10, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. Ugh, boy, terrible. 37-46. So Kenny Pickett, no bueno. Malik Willis, we'll find out what he does in Miami, but he only has, I think they said 2 or 3 career starts. That I would be really worried if I'm a Dolphins fan. Really concerned about that. Let's get to some of your comments and we'll move on to the next one. What if we drafted Josh Rosen and Allen? Okay. That may be there already, Scott. We're going to find out. I have not read it all yet. What up, Tommy? What up, J-Ham? How you doing, brother? All right, let's get to the next one. Let's see here. Ranking the NFL's 32 best. I'll go through this quick because we're on little time here before I got to get out of here for work. So if you guys had to guess, where do you think Kyle Allen lands on this list of backup quarterbacks? Where do you think? Where do you think we rank here? Be careful, Tommy. Talking about Shedeur, they'll come for you. Shiloh told the Browns reporter to go eat a sandwich. Well, I'm not a Browns fan, so look, I don't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. put the work in and prove me wrong, right? And not even prove me wrong. Who cares about me? It's your fan base. So do right by your fan base. Put the work in and prove to people that you're the real deal. That's all. Don't just say it, right? You know what I mean? Don't talk about it, be about it. You know, and that's one thing I credit Josh Allen for. Like, he didn't just come in the league like with this arrogance and attitude. And by the way, I don't mind that. Like, if you're going to do that, right? You're going to say you're the man. You're going to be, and you're going to have all this confidence in the world, and that's fine. I'm not knocking anybody that does. But you gotta produce. You gotta back it up. You know what I mean? Like that's like a fighter, a boxer talking all this shit, and then just every time he goes in the ring, gets knocked out. You know, eventually, people are gonna be like, bro, this guy's all talk, right? I'm glad he has all the confidence, but it's not doing anything for him when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? So for me, like, Shedeur hasn't really proven anything yet, and he came out, he's a talker. So, and once again, I don't care. I don't care if you're talking. Just back it up. I have no problem with that kind of confidence. But Josh Allen, on the other hand, he didn't come in the league boasting. You know what I mean? He knew he had work to do, right? And he put it together. And now, if he wanted to, he could, but he still doesn't. That's just not his style. And once again, I'm not knocking people that have that attitude. I don't mind it at all. Receivers, the best ones for the most part, that's why they're called divas, right? They all have that in them. They all think they're the best. They all run their mouths, and that's fine because they've backed it up. You know what I mean? But yeah, Shedeur, man, we'll see. But I am, Anyways, all right. So where do you think Kyle Allen lands on this? Oh, okay. So Scott's saying 25th. Sorry, 25th past the last one on the list. Okay, so we'll see. All right, coming in at number 32, Cade Klubnik for the Jets. Cade Klubnik. Number 31, Quinn Ewers for the Dolphins. Coming in at number 30, Joe Milton. That's crazy because I thought Joe Milton would have been a perfect backup for the Buffalo Bills. Like, I still think that. I think Joe Milton, with his size, his arm, he's mobile. Like, if we really, if we needed a game or something, like, he could fill in and do kind of some things that Josh can do. You know what I mean? At least he has the same traits as far as the mobility and the big arm. Like, I would trust him over Kyle Allen. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I saw what Joe Milton can do, but apparently he's struggled in Dallas so far. So, maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not going to be, a good player. And what's crazy? What they said here, he struggled with accuracy in his 3 preseason starts, but Dallas saw enough to make him Dak Prescott's backup last season. But where do they gave up a third round pick for him, right? I'm sorry, a 4th round pick, I believe they gave up. So, I mean, boy, oh boy. Like, you got to, here comes Kyle Allen. 29. Who said 29? Anybody? Nope. Wait. 25, you said. 25. So, Kyle Allen is according to SI, 29th worst, 29th ranking at least, backup quarterback. So, yeah, we don't, and I have to kind of agree. I'm just not a Kyle Allen fan. 28, Tommy DeVito. hey, Tommy DeVito coming in at number 28. 27, Mason Rudolph. Seems like this guy's played in the league for forever, and he hasn't. But it just, I don't know why. I feel like Mason Rudolph has been in the league for like 20 years. and he hasn't. Maybe it's just his look. I don't know. There it is. Maybe it's his mustache. 26, Jake Browning for Tampa. Number 25, Nick Mullins. Oh, okay. If you guys want to guess, who do you think the number 1 backup quarterback in the NFL is? How about that? Put that in the chat. I'm very curious. Who do you think the best backup quarterback is in the NFL? Go ahead and put that in before I hit the number 1. All right, number 24, Kenny Pickett. Number 23, Ty Simpson. And that's the rookie. Number 22, Mitch Trubisky. Number 21, Teddy Bridgewater. I can't believe he's in the league still. 20, Tyler Huntley. Number 19, Andy Dalton. It's another guy. He won't go away. 18, Marcus Mariota. I like Marcus Mariota. He's a good backup. He wasn't a terrible starter either, by the way. But as a backup, dude, absolutely. I would love to have Marcus Mariota on this team. Drew Lock for Seattle. Tyrod Taylor. I can't believe, honestly, he's still in the league. Everything that dude has gone through so much. But he's coming at number 16. Number 15, Trey Lance. Number 14, Gardner Minshew. By the way, Gardner Minshew is another guy I would absolutely want in Buffalo. Great backup quarterback. He started a few games. Like, I have no problem with Gardner. J.J. McCarthy, no. I'm sorry. I don't agree on this one. J.J. McCarthy I see nothing in him that even makes a good backup quarterback, but okay. Shedeur Sanders at number 12. Is he the backup, though? I mean, he could start, though, but we'll see. Number 11, Davis Mills. Davis Mills isn't terrible. Anthony Richardson, Colts, number 10. I don't know about that either. I don't know. He's struggled. Number 9, Jarrett Stidham. Is he? I mean, what did they put up? 3 points against the Patriots in the playoffs? I don't know that either. Number 8, Justin Fields. I guess. I mean, he's mobile. You can do stuff with him with his legs. He's not a bad arm, but I guess. Tyson Badgett, Bears. From what I saw, he's not bad. Rattler for the Saints. He's not a bad backup. He had some starts under his belt as well. Fernando Mendoza for the Raiders. Is he going to be a backup? Oh, you're right, because they got Kirk Cousins there now, right? So yeah, he'll probably. I mean, man, are they going to have him compete, or is he going to be a bench player? Is he going to be the second backup for the first year? I wonder. Jameis Winston coming in at number 4 for the Giants. Yeah, I would love for Jameis Winston to be on this team too. Number 3, Tua. I don't know. You know what, though? I think Tua has a real legitimate shot at starting for the Falcons. Penix is such a question mark. Number 2, Mac Jones. Isn't that crazy? Mac Jones, is winding up being a really good backup quarterback. All right, number 1, since you guys did not put in the chat what you feel, I'm going to have to go to it. You have plenty of time. Joe Flacco for the Bengals coming in at number 1. And I guess I agree with that. I mean, he's been reliable, even at his age. So there you go. There's your best backups in the NFL, according to the SI. All right. What are we at? We're at 10 something? What time is it right now? 10:40. I still got time. Okay. So next up. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. I told you guys, I always find stuff that's kind of interesting to go through, right? All right, here we go. So we're talking about NFL power rankings, ranking every non-playoff team for the 2026 season. So interesting. So all the non-playoff teams, ranking them going into 2026 season. All right, here we go. Number 18, coming in at number 18 is the Cardinals. So yeah, that's not a good ranking. Number 17, the Browns. Number 16, the Dolphins. So far, they're right. So far, they are accurate. Coming in at number 15 is the Raiders. 14 is the Jets. Boy, they got the Jets higher than I thought. The Giants coming at 13. All right. Number 12 is the Titans. Number 11, the Falcons. Number 10 is the Saints. Number 9 is the Colts. It makes sense because they were actually doing really good until Daniel Jones got hurt. Once he got hurt, their season was kind of wrapped up. Washington Commanders, same thing with them, with their quarterback. So I believe they bounced back as well. Number 7, the Vikings. They do got a much better quarterback in place now. I still think, once again, that Kyler Murray's, you just don't know what to expect. So, but I do believe they'll be better. Absolutely. I could see them being 7 on this list. All right. Next up, number 6, the Cowboys. I agree. I think they can be better than what they were last year. Number 5, the Chiefs. Absolutely. With Patrick Mahomes coming back, I thought last year, even with Mahomes healthy, was just a bad year for them. I don't even know if they make the playoffs, even if Mahomes doesn't get hurt. But I believe they'll bounce back. They're too good of a team with too good of a coach, too good of a quarterback not to be better in 2026. Number 4, the Tampa Bay Bucks. I agree. They started off good, and they just kind of faded out during the course of the season. So, yeah, that hurt. All right, here we go. Top 3. The Ravens. Yeah, on paper, they look like the real deal. But once they got on the field, first loss against us, which was a heartbreaker for them, but L's and L, you got to take it up. And they never really bounced back after that loss to us. They look terrible at times. So they do have a better team. They moved on from their coach. I'll agree with this. Number 2, the Bengals, same thing. This is a team that always starts slow and then plays catch up. And sometimes they get in the playoffs. Sometimes they don't. Last year they didn't. But I agree with this, right? They could be a better. And then the Lions, 100%. They're number 1. And I get that. Last year they went through a tough time. They lost both coordinators. They had to fire one of their coordinators. I believe their offensive coordinator. They have the roster. They have really good players on that team. They can be better. So I get it. They're a playoff team. All right. So enough of that. You guys are quiet today, man. Gotta tell you. All right. So that one I'll skip. Okay. You guys want to? All right. So this one's good. Ranking the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Let's see if any Bills players make this list. All right. Coming at number 7. So it's only 7 of them. Juwan Jennings, Minnesota Vikings. Coming at number 7. Number 6, Jacoby Myers for the Jaguars. Number 5, Jalen Coker for the Panthers. Number 4, there you go. Buffalo Bills, Khalil Shakir. Fantasy ranking, number 49. So Shakir led the Bills with 821 yards receiving in 2024, 719 this past season. While he doesn't have the skill set to be a true number 1 receiver, he's filled in quite nicely as a go-to pass catcher. 6-foot frame, 4.4 speed. Shakir can beat defensive backs in multiple ways. He can generate big plays when he does. 26-year-old caught more than 75% of his targets and provided passer rating above 100 each of the past 3 seasons. Moore may be stepping in as a number 1, but Shakir should be one of the league's better second options. I agree. Khalil Shakir is damn good. Romeo Doubs coming in at number 3. Number 2, Alex Pierce. And number 1 is Michael Wilson. So there is the most underrated, top 7 underrated wide receivers going into the 2026 NFL season. All right. And we are down to the last 2 things, guys. So, and then I'm going to get out of here. So this one I thought was pretty cool. This was actually the thumbnail. So this is ranking the team standing between the Bills and the Super Bowl from worst to first. And this is, they're talking about on the schedule, right? Team standing in our way. So here we go. Ranking the 14 Bills opponents of 2026. Miami Dolphins, week 11 and 17, coming at number 14. So they got no faith in the Dolphins and hurting us in any way. Number 13, the Jets, same thing. They have no faith in the Jets and the Dolphins are bad. All right. The Raiders are bad too. Coming at number 12. Number 11, the Vikings. Number 10, the Lions. You figured they would be higher in this list, but okay. The Texans at number 9. The Bears at number 8. See, I would have the Lions ahead of the Bears. I'm sorry. But okay. Ravens number 7. Packers number 6. Chargers number 5. Patriots number 4. The Chiefs number 3. Broncos number 2. And number 1 is the Rams. An absolute gauntlet. Even with as tough as the schedule looks, the Bills still have a chance to get over the hump and do something special. They have a plethora of offensive talent, and the hope is that new defensive coordinator Jim Leonard can help them get a few more stops when they need them the most. In any event, the Bills will have their hands full in 2026, and the margin for error will be slim. I agree. But we can also win those games. There's not a game there where I'm like, there's no way we get that win. Like, we're going to be in all those games, especially against the better opponents. All right, here we go. We have arrived. We have arrived to the title, which is the what ifs. What if? Are you guys in the building? Are you guys with me? You guys are very quiet in the chat, in the comments. You're starting to worry me a little bit. All right, here we go. What ifs? All right, here we go. What if the Bills draft Patrick Mahomes instead of trading the pick away? Potential answer. Mahomes develops under Sean McDermott. No Josh Allen era. Bills likely become contenders sooner, but Mahomes may not become the same player without the environment he had in Kansas City. The NFL landscape changes completely. Okay, cool. If you have any what ifs that aren't here that you don't see, throw them in the comments section. I found this really interesting, right? What if, right? Because right? Like, damn, what if? So there it is. What if we drafted Patrick Mahomes? So there's your answers there for at least ChatGPT. Number 2, what if the Bills draft Lamar Jackson in 2018? Potential answer. Buffalo builds a run-heavy offense around Lamar. No Josh Allen. Bills become dangerous, but may not reach the same passing explosiveness Allen provides. Okay. Number 3, the Bills never trade up for Josh Allen. Potential answer. Could have ended up with Josh Rosen or another quarterback. Drought of elite quarterback play continues. Franchise trajectory looks drastically different. And yeah, I mean, if we don't draft Josh Allen and we draft Josh Rosen, guys, we're probably talking about potentially another drought, right? Potentially. All right. Number 4, the Bills beat Kansas City in the 13-second game. Potential answer. Buffalo likely reaches the AFC Championship. Could have won the Super Bowl that year. McDermott's legacy is viewed completely differently. Wow. And yes, I agree. Like, he fucked us. Let's be real. Sean McDermott fucked the Buffalo Bills of an opportunity of going to a Super Bowl and potentially winning a Super Bowl that year. So, yeah, I'm going to put the majority of that all on Sean McDermott. Number 5, what if Scott Norwood makes the kick? Well, Buffalo wins its first Super Bowl. The Bills dynasty conversation changes forever. The emotional history of the franchise is completely different. I mean, golly. Because that was it. That was the game. That was the Super Bowl. If they were going to win one, that was it. We were the better team. Let's be real. Come on, I don't know if anyone can debate that with me, right? Better on both sides of the ball. They had a backup quarterback playing. I think the Bills took that Super Bowl for granted. There's a lot of rumors about them partying, over there prior to the game, and I think they thought they had it in the bag. And before you know it, the game's close, and the rest is in the history books. So yeah. Okay, number 6. What if the Bills draft Aaron Rodgers in 2005? Rodgers sits behind Drew Bledsoe. Bills avoid years of quarterback instability. Possible playoff appearances throughout the drought era. Oh, man. Like, this is a lot of what ifs. Aaron motherfucking Rodgers. And I don't like the guy, but I can't deny his greatness. The dude is a great quarterback. And yeah, you draft him, you sit him behind Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, I mean, you got your franchise quarterback. Things could have been different, but we didn't do that. We didn't do it. What if Doug Flutie starts the Music City Miracle game? Potential answer: Bills may win the game, and I believe we will. I believe they would have. Playoff run becomes possible. Abso-fucking-lutely. The drought might never happen, and that's true because who knows how far or how long Flutie stays for, right? If he goes on and you know, has a nice playoff run there. I'm with that. Number 8. What if the Bills keep Marshawn Lynch? Potential answer: Lynch and Fred Jackson become an elite tandem. More offense success during the late 2000s could have changed Chan Gailey's era results. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just think at that time Marshawn Lynch was getting a little bit of trouble, and I think they just were ready to move on, and they didn't want, you know, more stuff happening, off-field stuff. And I think they were confident in enough in what they had in Fred Jackson and moved on from Marshawn Lynch. But they're not lying. Like, if they kept Lynch around and Fred, it would have been talk about a two-headed monster, right? I mean, I'm not saying Fred Jackson was this unbelievable running back, but he was a good running back, right? Marshawn Lynch would have only gotten better. Like, Marshawn Lynch was just starting to get in his prime by then. You know what I mean? Like, because to be fair, Marshawn Lynch really hit his prime in Seattle. You know what I mean? So imagine we keep him for another year and he gets really in his prime. Man, oh man. All right, number 9. What if Buffalo never trades for Stephon Diggs? Potential answer: Josh Allen's development slows. No 2020 MVP caliber breakout season. Bills may not become AFC contenders. Boy, oh boy. That's an interesting one, right? Because 2019 is when they acquired Cole Beasley and John Brown. And those guys were a great step up compared to 2018, right? But then you add in Stephon Diggs in 2020. And it's night and day from what you did in 2019 and 2020. The stats go through the roof when you get Stephon Diggs there. And then you got Diggs and Beasley and Brown. Man, I gotta admit, it did change. It helped a lot. It really did. It helped a tremendous amount of where that team was heading after they acquired Diggs. Or Bills draft, but you don't know that, Edward. See, the problem with that is I think everybody thought Jefferson was going to the Eagles. If you remember, the Eagles reached and they got, I forget the receiver's name, but it wasn't really supposed to go down like that. And I don't know if the Bills, you know, obviously if they can go back in time, but Stephon Diggs was a hell of a player. Let's not twist it up. Obviously, you know, knowing what we know now, you know, of course, if you could, you know, go back in time, but, you know, it's not like Stephon Diggs didn't produce. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not even mad at it, but I get what you're saying. They could have. Let's say they don't, and Justin Jefferson happens to fall there. Like, yeah, then the Bills, like, you know, but I don't know if that was, nobody really saw that coming, but I get your point. All right. Number 10. What if Sean McDermott? Oh, man, these are getting better. I did not read any of these, by the way. I kind of just skipped through them and then I asked them to do a little bit more. Wow. ChatGPT, thank you. Because these are great. I love this idea I came up with. This is fucking phenomenal. What if Sean McDermott is fired after 13 seconds? Potential answer, massive gamble. Okay. Bills could have improved or completely collapsed. Allen may have multiple coaching staffs already. I mean, all that, yeah. I mean, all of that is I'm with that. I get that. But man, interesting, right? What if we did? Golly. All right. Oh, and I went through this on Sunday, but what if Donald Trump buys the Buffalo Bills in 2014? Potential answer, massive national attention, which is true. Uncertain football operations, potential relocation concerns, but he said that he wasn't going to move the Bills. He had no plans like to move the Buffalo Bills out of Buffalo. So, of course he could be lying, but I do question. It is interesting. I'm not going to lie, because if Trump buys the team, knowing the personality of Trump, right? Knowing who Trump is and how aggressive he is as a president, just as a businessman, if he did buy the Bills in 2014, does he get a stadium deal done right away? Does he buy it himself? Right? Get what I'm saying? So that one's curious, because he may just buy the stadium himself and not have taxpayers pay. I'm just maybe. And he gets the stadium done, sooner than later. Does he hire Sean McDermott? Or does he, because I don't know what coaches were available at the time, or does he spend the money and go after a top-notch coach and just pays them big-time bucks to come to Buffalo, including a GM? Very interesting. But if that happens, does Josh Allen get drafted here? You know what I mean? I could also see him being super aggressive in free agency, wanting to win, like winning at all costs. It doesn't matter. Like, that's kind of his thing. Very interesting, but it could have backfired. He could have moved the team. Maybe we don't get Allen. Maybe he's too aggressive and shit backfires. We spend too much and getting cap hell. I mean, it's interesting. It is. All right, what if, number 12, what if the Magulas never buy the Bills? Oh, man. Relocation rumors intensify. Toronto, Los Angeles, or another city becomes a possibility. Buffalo future becomes uncertain. And you know what? You never know. Like, I'm with them. You don't know. Like, and that's why, like, I'm glad it worked out, because Terry and Kim, they're Buffalo, through and throughout. Like, they were the plan was never to move the Buffalo Bills. They owned already the Buffalo Sabres. So I don't think that, they were ever planning on moving the team. So it worked out at the end, but man, the Trump thing's interesting. I do find it interesting of what would have happened. What if? All right, number 13, what if the Bills draft Christian McCaffrey instead of Trey White? Oh, man. Potential answer, explosive offense. Defense suffers without White. Okay. Allen eventually gets an elite weapon, but he has one now in James Cook, or I would say borderline elite. Like, James Cook is heading in the right direction of that tier 1 list of running backs. But yeah, that's an interesting one, right? What if we went ahead and drafted McCaffrey instead of Trey White? What if, number 14, Von Miller doesn't get injured in 2022? Potential answer, defense remains dominant, though I don't think it was dominant at that point. I thought we were playing pretty good. Better playoff pass rush. I agree. Absolutely. Because Von was he was having a good year that year. Potential Super Bowl appearance. Possibly. You never know. I mean, Von was playing good football. Man. Number 15. What if DeMar Hamlin's injury never happens? Whoa. Potential answer. Bills finish season differently. AFC playoff seeding changes. Emotional toll on the team never occurs. Yeah. I mean, I got to admit, man, like, that was a fucked up season. 2022 was a fucking weird season. I got to say, like, and that's the one thing. It's crazy for all the, like, and I credit McDermott for other stuff, but I would say if we're going to, like, really go, hey, man, what McDermott's best season really was? And I know a lot of people say last year, but I don't think it was last year. I think, matter of fact, I don't think last year was that impressive at all. I would say 2022, if you really want to look at a coach and evaluate a coach and what he did and how far he got a team with everything that occurred during the course of the season, including the offseason, I thought Sean McDermott held that team together very good. And that is not an easy thing to do because, once again, there was so much that happened in 2022, guys. You remember the offseason, at the supermarket, the incident that happened there in Buffalo. Then Dalton Kincaid's brother passes away in his dorm room at FIU. And something else happened, I think, during camp. And then you got the Damar Hamlin injury, or not injury. Damar Hamlin basically dying on the field, right? You had all that. I think I'm missing something else that happened that season, but all that played, like, it just had to have weighed down heavily on the team. And I thought he did a really good job on putting the team, getting the team, ready to play football and, emotionally getting them emotionally good again, or good to play football again. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot. Like, a lot happened there. And I would say 2022 for me, for as far as we went with everything that happened, I would say it's one of Sean McDermott's better coaching years for the Buffalo Bills. Allen played through an elbow injury that everyone, oh yeah, you're right. Was that the Jets one where he went to throw it and he got dislocated kind of? I think that's the same year, right? So a lot happened that year, man. But, you're talking about, like, just tragedy, like just heartbreak and tragedy and injury, like significant injuries and a player passing away on the field, basically. Like all that being said, you still get your team, that far in the playoff. You know what I mean? So, like, I got to give him credit for for getting everybody together and making it work. But anyways, all right, let's move on. Number 16. What if Brandon Beane? Oh, no, ChatGPT. Why are you doing this to me? What if Brandon Beane was fired along with Sean McDermott? Potential answer: complete organizational reset, which is true. No continuity around Josh Allen. Huge risk during Allen's prime. Thank you, ChatGPT. You know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that is all true. It is all true. You have to listen. Brandon Beane's done a very good job here. He understands Josh Allen very well. He knows what he's doing. For as much as people don't think he does, he absolutely, or the people that don't think he that he doesn't know what he's doing, he does, right? And if you remove Brandon Beane, you're kind of doing a major reset there. And we didn't need a major reset. I never thought the roster was the real reason why this team didn't get a Super Bowl during the McDermott era. I never believed that. I never said that once. I truly believe the reason why is because Sean McDermott failed. He failed in big moments. But anyways, next one. What if Jim Kelly signs with the USFL forever? So let's say the USFL sticks around. Potential answer: Bills never become the AFC powerhouse in the 90s. Probably not. No 4 straight Super Bowl appearances. I'm with that. Number 18. What if Buffalo drafts Ben Roethlisberger in 2004? Potential answer: Bills finally solve quarterback after Bledsoe. Steelers dynasty never looks the same. Wow. That is, yeah. I mean, that is right. AFC East changes dramatically. I mean, boy, oh boy. You see, we had opportunities, guys. Right there, right? And I agree. I mean, wow, that changes everything for the Steelers as well. Number 19, what if Buffalo wins the coin toss in overtime versus the Chiefs? Oh, we win the game because, well, let me tell you, at that point, Allen was such in a zone. There was no stopping him. And that includes Gabe Davis, by the way. Allen and Gabe Davis were in such a zone. If the Buffalo Bills win the coin toss, there is no way they're not scoring a touchdown on their opening drive. And that will be, at that time, a game-winning touchdown. Abso-fucking-lutely. I do not believe the Chiefs would have stopped Allen. They could not. They had no answer. They had no answer for Josh. They had no answer for Gabe Davis. Zero. Damn. Oh, it hurts, man. Potential answer. Allen likely leads a game-winning drive. One of the greatest playoff wins ever. Bills' narrative changes overnight. Yeah, dude. I mean, who knows, guys, what happens there? We go on and win that game. Man, what if? Number 20, what if Josh Allen retires? Oh, man, with no Super Bowl ring. Potential answer. Still a Bills legend. I agree. Hall of Fame conversation remains strong. I agree. Because by then, he's going to have he's going to have NFL records, right? He's already getting them. One of the greatest what could have been stories in NFL history. Golly, man. Let's hope that doesn't happen, right? All right, we got a bonus debate question. I did get more questions, though, because I was like, fuck it. You know what? Let's add some more. What if the Bills never fired Sean McDermott after the 2025 season? Ooh. Would continually have eventually paid off? Would continuity have eventually paid off? Or was a fresh start with Joe Brady exactly what Josh Allen needed? The last one could create some serious discussion among Bills Mafia. I did ask for more, so here we go. And we'll go and run through this because I got to get going soon. Number 21, what if the Bills draft Russell Wilson in 2012? Man, Buffalo finally finds a franchise quarterback. No EJ Manuel pick of 2013. Bills could end the drought years earlier. True. That's very true. Number 22. What if the Bills never trade for Sammy Watkins? Watkins and Josh Allen eventually play together. I don't know what that means. And anyways, depends on whether Watkins stays healthy. No extra draft assets for later moves. Oh, I see. They're not saying through the draft. They're saying, what if the Bills never traded Sammy Watkins? I read it wrong. Watkins and Allen eventually play together. Would they? I don't know. Watkins could never stay healthy. Depending on whether Watkins stays healthy, right? No extra. So I read it wrong. I'm sorry about that. I thought they meant trade up for the draft for him. Okay. Number 23. What if the Bills draft Justin Jefferson instead of trading for Stephon Diggs? Potential answer, elite wide receiver on a rookie contract. Bills have more cap flexibility, but Allen may not take the same year 3 leap, but Jefferson had a good rookie season though. But I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one to put there. Number 24, what if Buffalo drafts Travis Kelce in 2013? Allen eventually gets an all-time great tight end. Chiefs never build their dynasty around Mahomes and Kelce. Interesting. Number 25, what if the Bills hire Bill Cowher after the 2009 season? Oh, man. Potential answer, instant credibility. Could have accelerated the rebuild. Potentially ends the drought much sooner. What if Wade Phillips is never fired? Potential answer, Bills remain competitive into the early 2000s. No coaching carousel for years. I agree. I like Wade Phillips. I thought Wade Phillips was a good coach. What if Rob Johnson never starts over Doug Flutie? One of the biggest debates in Bills history disappears. Maybe the Music City Miracle never happens. And I agree. I don't think it ever happens. I think we win that game without having, that last, that last fucking fuck up of a kickoff and return. I think we win by at least 10 points. What if Buffalo drafts Rob Gronkowski in 2010? Patriots don't get Gronk. Bills get a future Hall of Famer. AFC East balance shifts dramatically. Maybe. We didn't have a quarterback, though. That's the problem. So I don't know. I think we waste his career away. At least through his rookie contract. I don't think he makes a difference. We have shitty quarterback play at that. What if Buffalo signs Tom Brady in 2020 instead of Tampa? Oh, no. Brady mentors Allen. There's no way it would happen. There's no way, by the way. That is... I'll read it anyways. Brady mentors Allen. Brady becomes instant Super Bowl... Bills become instant Super Bowl favorites. Weirdest timeline ever. Oh my God. No. What if the Bills traded for Christian McCaffrey? Allen gets a game-changing weapon. Offense becomes nearly impossible to defend. I agree. What if the Bills beat Cincinnati in 2022 divisional round? Allen gets another shot at Mahomes. Bills move one step closer to Super Bowl. What if Buffalo drafts DK Metcalf? Oh, God. We had the opportunity to Cody Ford. Allen and DK become one of the NFL's most explosive duos. I agree. Bills offense becomes terrifying. What if the Bills draft TJ Watt instead of Trey White? Oh, elite pass rusher for a decade. Defense takes on a different identity. What if Josh Allen got drafted by the Browns? Does Allen become Josh Allen? That's true. I mean, the Browns, quarterbacks go there to die like the Jets. Buffalo likely remains searching for a quarterback. Oh, man. What if Buffalo never breaks the drought in 2017? McDermott's culture change takes longer. Allen era begins under most pressure. That's true. Under more pressure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's good. That's actually, yeah, that's true. What if Buffalo beats Jacksonville in 2017? First playoff win since the 90s. Momentum for the new regime skyrockets. What if Jim Kelly never gets hurt in Super Bowl XSV 1-1? Buffalo Bills offense stays competitive. Maybe Buffalo wins its first championship. What if Thurman Thomas doesn't lose his in Super Bowl XXV1? XSVI. One of the strangest Super Bowl stories never happens. Bills fans still debate whether it affected the game. Number 39. What if Bruce Smith is drafted by another team? But they couldn't because we had the first pick in the draft. So, but whatever. Bills lose arguably the greatest player ever. 1990s dynasty may never happen. What if Buffalo traded for Randy Moss? One of the greatest deep threats ever with Bills quarterbacks. A massive excitement in Buffalo. What if the Bills draft Ed Reed? Hall of Fame safety changes the defense for a decade. Ravens history changes forever. What if Buffalo wins one of the 4 straight Super Bowls? Wow. Entire perception of the franchise changes. Bills become celebrated instead of remembered for heartbreak. Yeah. What if Josh Allen wins MVP and Super Bowl in the same season? Potential answer: Allen enters an entirely different historical conversation, and he becomes the greatest Bills ever instantly. And I agree. If that were to happen, yes. Matter of fact, even without the MVP, if he won a Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills, and I love Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith is unbelievable, but he would become the greatest Bills player ever. He got the one thing that Buffalo has wanted, fans has wanted their whole lives, Super Bowl. What if the new stadium opens with the Super Bowl season? Oh man. Legendary moment in franchise history. New era officially begins. What if Joe Brady wins the Super Bowl before Sean McDermott? Potential answer? The decision to move on from McDermott gets fully validated. Brady becomes a Buffalo icon. What if Brandon Beane never becomes GM? No Allen, no Diggs trade, no modern Bills renaissance. Yeah. I think I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. What if the Bills draft Patrick Mahomes and keep Tyrod Taylor? Mahomes develops behind Tyrod, similar path to KC. Maybe. I don't know. What if the Bills draft Aaron Donald in 2014? Donald and the Bills defense dominate for years, one of the greatest defenders ever in Buffalo. What if the Bills never trade away Wyatt Teller? Offensive line becomes a major strength. One of Buffalo's most regrettable trade disappears. Number 50. What if Josh Allen delivers Buffalo's first Super Bowl? Statue outside the new stadium. Greatest player in franchise history debate is over. Bills Mafia celebrates for a generation. And that's it, guys. That's all I got, man. That is it for the night, dude. Still hungry from back call against Bills first down. Yeah, that's bullshit. I already missed the old stadium. Well, get used to the new one because it's going to be badass. So that's it for the night, man. I gotta go to work, man. I got called in to do a late night shift. But man, this was fun, dude. I had a great time with this tonight with the what ifs. And for those who missed it tonight, let me know what you think in the comment section. Give me a what if, right? And maybe we'll talk about it. We'll do this again on Friday. Maybe we'll do it again on Friday Night Lights, right? If you guys can come up with some creative what ifs, I'll put it in the chat GPT and let's continue this on, right? Let's maybe make this a thing, right? So anyways, Bills Mafia, I love you. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And I will see you guys Friday Night Lights at 8 p.m. I love you. I'm out of here. Go Bills. Peace.